Every morning, millions of men over 60 wake up hoping to take better care of their health. They reach for something familiar, a glass of juice, a cup of coffee with milk, maybe a sweet tea, and believe they're making the right choice. But what if I told you that very drink, the one you trust each day to start your routine, might be the one silently inflaming your prostate? It doesn't burn or sting, it doesn't shout for attention, but it quietly sets off a slow chain reaction inside your body. One that disrupts your sleep, increases those nighttime bathroom trips, and worsens the discomfort you've been trying to manage for years. You see, when most men think of prostate problems, they imagine aging, testosterone, or genetics. But few ever consider that what they sip first thing in the morning could be a hidden trigger. A seemingly harmless habit that silently fuels inflammation, hormone disruption, and swelling in your prostate. And the worst part? These aren't rare or exotic drinks. They're the most common ones, the ones you might have believed were good for you. I've seen this mistake over and over in my clinic. Men doing their best, trying to live healthier, but unknowingly sabotaging their efforts with one simple drink choice. And no one warned them. Until now. In today's video, I'm going to show you the top 3 drinks that silently irritate the prostate, why they affect men over 60 more than anyone else, and the natural replacements that help soothe your body, reduce nighttime trips, and restore comfort without medication. If you've ever asked yourself, why do I still feel the same, even after changing my diet? This might be the piece you've been missing. Let's uncover the truth that no one is telling you about the drinks in your own kitchen, and let's take back control, one sip at a time. My name is Dr. Jennifer Berman. For over 20 years, I've worked as a urologist and sexual health specialist, helping men and women understand their bodies more deeply and reclaim the vitality they thought was lost to age. But here's something I've learned from decades of clinical practice. It's not just about what's happening to your body. It's about what your body is quietly trying to tell you. Most men over 60 walk into my office with the same story. Their sleep is interrupted. Their energy feels drained. Intimacy becomes more difficult. And when I ask about their routines, they're often shocked to learn that one of the biggest culprits is sitting right in their kitchen. That's why I created this video. Not to judge, not to shame, and certainly not to scare you, but to show you the science-backed truth that most doctors never explain, in a way that makes sense, feels achievable, and respects where you are in life. You won't hear about prescriptions here. You won't be told that your best years are behind you. What you will hear is a practical path forward, using everyday habits that help reduce inflammation, improve prostate comfort, and restore confidence. In the next few minutes, I'll guide you through the most common drinks that quietly irritate your prostate, what makes them especially harmful for men over 60, and the simple replacements that actually support healing. Naturally, I'll also share the story of one of my patients, a man who struggled with sleep and constant discomfort until he made one tiny change to his morning drink. What happened next changed the course of his health and his life. This video is for you if you're tired of confusion, of trying every supplement without results, or of wondering if you're just getting old. You deserve clarity, you deserve comfort, and most of all, you deserve to feel like yourself again. So stay with me, and let's begin this journey together. Let's start with a truth that surprises most men. It's not just what you eat that affects your prostate, it's what you drink every single morning that can either heal or harm it. When you're over 60, your prostate becomes more sensitive to inflammation, hormone shifts, and circulation issues. Certain drinks quietly amplify those problems without you realizing it. You may feel it as disrupted sleep, pressure in your lower abdomen, or that never-ending urge to urinate. But let me be clear, this isn't your fault. No one teaches us how drinks affect male health, especially not at this stage in life. That changes today. Mistake number 1, boxed fruit juice, even the healthy ones. You reach for a glass of orange or apple juice, thinking you're doing something good. After all, it's fruit, right? But here's the hidden danger. Most boxed or bottled juices are loaded with concentrated sugars, even when labeled 100% juice. These sugars spike your insulin, increase inflammation, and trigger fluid retention, all of which can aggravate the prostate. But the problem doesn't stop there. Sugary juices also lead to something called glycation, where sugar molecules damage proteins in your body, especially in soft tissues like the prostate and bladder lining. Over time, this makes the area more swollen, less elastic, and more reactive to hormones like DHT, dihydrotestosterone, which plays a key role in prostate enlargement. So even if the juice looks harmless, it could be quietly fueling the very symptoms you're trying to get rid of. What to drink instead? Pure, unsweetened pomegranate juice. Now, here's the powerful swap. A drink that doesn't just avoid damage, but actively helps heal your prostate. Pomegranate juice is rich in polyphenols, plant compounds that reduce oxidative stress and calm inflammation. Studies show it helps improve blood flow to the pelvic area, reduce prostate-specific antigen, PSA levels, and even slow the growth of abnormal prostate cells. But here's the key. It must be pure and unsweetened. No added sugar, no blends. Look for 100% pomegranate juice and stick to 4 to 6 ounces a day. Ideally, with breakfast. Think of it as a natural tonic, one that gives your prostate what it truly craves. Real nourishment, not empty sweetness. Mistake number 2, coffee with cream and sugar. For many men, coffee is a morning ritual, a moment of comfort. And in moderation, black coffee can even be beneficial. But when you add milk, creamer, sugar, or flavored syrups, that's when problems begin. Why? Because dairy and sugar create a double whammy for your prostate. Dairy can increase levels of insulin-like growth factor 1, IGF-1, a hormone that promotes cell growth, including in the prostate. And sugar, as we discussed earlier, inflames soft tissue, including the delicate prostate lining. This combination can lead to increased prostate volume, more frequent urination, and even hormone imbalance. What's more, caffeine itself, in excess, acts as a diuretic, forcing your bladder to empty more often and disrupting your sleep. The result? You wake up 2 to 3 times a night, never quite rested, always feeling slightly off. And no one tells you your morning coffee might be part of the reason why. What to drink instead? Warm lemon water. I know this sounds simple, maybe even too simple, but warm water with fresh lemon, taken first thing in the morning, does something powerful inside your body. It gently activates your digestive system, stimulates liver detoxification, and most importantly for the prostate, helps regulate pH and reduce internal inflammation. Lemons contain vitamin C and citrus flavonoids that support microcirculation. That's important because your prostate is full of tiny blood vessels. When those vessels are constricted or inflamed, your symptoms worsen. But when blood flows freely, healing can begin. Drink 1 glass of warm water with the juice of half a lemon. First thing in the morning, before coffee or breakfast. It's a reset button for your system, a small daily choice that tells your body, I'm supporting you now. And yes, you can still enjoy coffee. Just switch to black, limit it to 1 cup, and drink it after your lemon water. Mistake number 3. Zero sugar, energy drinks or diet sodas. You might think you're doing better by choosing sugar-free or zero-calorie drinks. But many of these products are loaded with artificial sweeteners like aspartame or sucralose, chemicals that your body can't process like real food. These sweeteners have been linked to increased inflammation, gut imbalance, and hormonal disruption in older adults. In fact, several studies suggest a connection between regular artificial sweetener intake and elevated PSA levels. One theory is that these compounds disrupt your gut microbiome, which plays a major role in regulating immune response and inflammation across the body, including the prostate. Add to that the stimulants found in energy drinks, like taurine, guarana, and excess caffeine, And you're overloading your system in a way that leaves your prostate more irritated, not less. What to drink instead? Herbal teas with circulation benefits. A simple herbal tea can work wonders, especially blends that include nettles, saw palmetto, hibiscus, or ginger. Let's take nettle root, for example. It's been used in traditional medicine for centuries to support urinary health and reduce swelling in the prostate, or hibiscus, which naturally lowers blood pressure and supports vascular health, crucial for pelvic circulation. Try brewing 1 cup mid-morning or in the evening, and make it part of your wind-down routine. This helps reduce inflammation, calm the bladder, and supports hormone balance naturally. No chemicals, no sugar crashes, just warm, gentle support your body can absorb with ease, putting it all together. If these swaps feel too simple, that's the point. You don't need an overhaul. You don't need expensive detox kits or exotic powders. You just need to stop pouring inflammation into your cup each morning. Here's your new prostate-friendly drink routine. First thing, warm water with lemon. With breakfast, 4-6 Oz unsweetened pomegranate juice. Midday or evening, herbal tea, nettle, hibiscus, or ginger. Stick with this for 2 to 3 weeks. Watch your energy, your sleep, and yes, your nighttime urgency. Most of my patients report feeling the shift within 10 to 14 days, and all it took was changing what they drink. Frank was 66 when he first walked into my office. He was tall, soft-spoken, and carried himself with quiet dignity. But behind the small talk and polite smiles, I could see it. The exhaustion in his eyes, the way he shifted uncomfortably in his chair, the silent frustration most men never say out loud. When we finally sat down, he opened up. "I'm just tired," he said. "Not just sleepy, worn out, like I've been fighting something invisible for years. I go to bed at 10, but I'm up by 1 a.m., then again at 2:30, then 4. I'm in the bathroom more than I'm in bed." Frank wasn't alone. What he described, frequent nighttime urination, disrupted sleep, groggy mornings, is something thousands of men experience after 60. But for Frank, it wasn't just about being tired. It was about what that fatigue was doing to his life. He stopped joining his wife on morning walks. He canceled a golf trip with old friends because he didn't want to be the guy holding everyone up. Worst of all, he started to lose the sense of control he'd always taken pride in. At first, he thought it was just aging, then maybe his bladder. But as we talked through his daily routine, something stood out. Every morning, like clockwork, Frank drank 2 cups of coffee with cream and sugar, and every afternoon a tall glass of boxed orange juice. "The kind my wife buys in bulk," he chuckled. On paper, it didn't seem extreme, but inside his body, these drinks were quietly compounding the issue. Cream and sugar in his coffee were driving up inflammation. The caffeine, though helpful for alertness, was acting as a diuretic, dehydrating him and irritating his bladder. And the juice? Packed with hidden sugars that were spiking insulin and worsening swelling in the prostate. He had no idea. No one had told him. So we made one change. Not a diet, not a drug, just a single focused shift. We removed the sugary drinks and replaced them with a morning glass of warm lemon water and 4 ounces of unsweetened pomegranate juice. That's it. No pills, no procedures. Just one quiet shift in his cup. The first week, not much changed. He was skeptical. But by week 2, something clicked. He reported waking up only once at night, instead of 3 or 4 times. By week 3, he came into my office with color in his face. He looked rested. His voice had more energy. And he smiled. "I'm dreaming again," he said. That line hit me. Because it wasn't just about urination or energy. It was about something deeper, the restoration of a life that had been slowly slipping away, one restless night at a time. Frank had spent years thinking his discomfort was something he just had to live with, but in truth, his body had been asking for help, and the answer started not in a pill bottle, but in a glass. He still enjoys his coffee, just black and just 1 cup after breakfast. He switched to water or herbal tea in the afternoons, and to this day he calls his pomegranate juice my prostate's best friend. Sometimes the path back to health isn't complicated, it's just unfamiliar. And for Frank, that one small change gave him back something he hadn't felt in a long time: peace. Let's imagine for a moment that your prostate is like a small sponge tucked deep in your lower abdomen, soft, sensitive, and incredibly responsive to changes in your internal environment. Now picture this. Every time you drink something, that sponge either swells or stays calm. The right choices keep it light, flexible, and comfortable. But the wrong ones? They soak it in irritation. So what exactly makes a drink harmful, especially for men over 60? It all comes down to 3 hidden forces: inflammation, circulation, and hormones. Let's break it down simply. 1. The inflammation loop. As we age, our body naturally produces more inflammatory signals, like cytokines and prostaglandins. Think of them as little fire alarms telling your immune system where to send help. But sugar and processed dairy, 2 common ingredients in morning drinks, act like gasoline on that fire. They don't just trigger inflammation, they prolong it. A study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that consuming sugary beverages increased levels of C-reactive protein, CRP, a key marker of inflammation, within hours. And when that inflammation lingers in soft tissue, like your prostate, it can lead to swelling, pressure, and urinary urgency. Your prostate isn't just reacting to age, it's reacting to what you're putting into your cup. 2. Hormone disruption and the IGF-1 effect. Dairy and sugar also influence hormones, and not always in your favor. Let's talk about IGF-1, or insulin-like growth factor 1. It's a hormone that promotes cell growth and repair. Sounds good, right? But when you consume high amounts of dairy or sugar, IGF-1 levels spike. That's fine if you're a growing teenager. But for an aging man with a sensitive prostate, it can lead to overgrowth of prostate tissue, what we medically call BPH, benign prostatic hyperplasia. Think of it like watering a plant that's already too big for its pot. It just keeps swelling and crowding everything around it, including your bladder. That's why many men notice increased urgency, weaker flow, or the feeling of never fully emptying. It's not just mechanical, it's hormonal. 3. Circulation, nitric oxide, and that heavy feeling. The prostate is surrounded by a dense network of blood vessels. For it to function properly and stay healthy, it needs strong, steady circulation. But sugar, artificial sweeteners, and even excess caffeine can impair something called nitric oxide production, a natural molecule that helps your blood vessels open and relax. Think of nitric oxide like a green light for blood flow. Without it, circulation slows, pressure builds, and your pelvic region starts to feel heavy, swollen, or numb. That's why men often say things like, "I feel blocked down there. My legs feel heavier. I'm just not as responsive anymore." It's not in your head, it's in your blood. And when blood flow suffers, everything else follows, from energy to sleep to performance. But there's good news. Your body is not broken, it's just overwhelmed, and the very same pathways that can be disrupted can also be restored. When you remove sugar and dairy from your morning drinks, avoid artificial sweeteners that confuse your gut and hormones, reintroduce natural supports like lemon water and pomegranate polyphenols, you're not just cutting the bad, you're activating the good. You're calming the sponge, opening the vessels, letting your body breathe again. In fact, one clinical study showed that men who consumed pomegranate juice daily for 12 weeks experienced measurable improvements in both circulation and PSA levels, without any change in medication. The science isn't complicated. Your prostate is simply asking for less clutter and more clarity, and you can start delivering that with your very next drink. There's something powerful about a small, quiet decision. No big announcement, No dramatic overhaul. Just one moment in the stillness of the morning when you choose to do something different, something kinder for your body. That's how change begins. Not with pressure, not with perfection, but with one small act of care. For many of the men I've worked with, fathers, veterans, grandfathers, that moment started with a single cup. A glass of warm lemon water instead of cream-heavy coffee, a splash of pure pomegranate juice instead of sugary boxed orange juice. Simple? Yes. But behind that small action is a powerful truth. You are not too old, and it is not too late. I've seen men in their 70s, even 80s, turn things around. Not because they chased every supplement or followed strict rules, but because they listened to their bodies and gave it what it quietly needed. Like Frank, who just wanted to sleep through the night, or Edward, who missed his morning walks, or James, who said he hadn't felt like himself in years, until the swelling eased and the urgency faded. They didn't start with a diet. They started with a cup. And that's what I want for you. Because the truth is, your body is always trying to heal, even now. The discomfort you feel, the urgency, the fatigue, the fog, it's not your body giving up. It's your body asking for help. And sometimes, the most powerful thing you can do is answer that call. Not with more noise or more effort, but with less of what harms and more of what heals. So tomorrow morning, when you stand in your kitchen, staring at the usual cup, pause and ask yourself, what if this time I gave my body a little peace instead? You don't have to fix everything. You just have to start. And when you do, even with something as small as what you sip, the body begins to remember how to restore itself. Because healing doesn't need to be hard. It just needs to begin. If this message spoke to something inside you, even just a little, I want you to know, you're not alone. Every day, I hear from men who thought they were the only ones struggling, the only ones waking up at 2 a.m., the only ones tired of pills and promises that don't work, the only ones who wondered, is this just my new normal? But it doesn't have to be. Your body is wiser than you think. It remembers how to feel balanced, clear, and comfortable. It just needs the chance. And sometimes that chance begins with the smallest choice, what you pour into your cup. So if this video gave you something to think about, I'd be honored if you'd share it with someone you care about, a brother, a friend, a father, someone who might be quietly facing the same struggles you were too proud to talk about. And if you're ready to make a shift, even just one small one, tell me in the comments below. Say, I'm starting with 1 cup. Let that be your first step. Or if you have questions, share them. What are you dealing with? What's helped? What's still confusing? I read every single message, and your story might be the one that helps another man take back his mornings. Thank you for being here. Thank you for choosing your health. And thank you, truly, for showing up for yourself today. Your next chapter might begin not with a breakthrough, but with a better sip.